both one for the both, and both for the one. More time round the earth as we fly round the sun.
Tell us your name and where you're from.
Yeah, my name is Manu Francois, and I live in New Zealand, but I'm born in the Caribbean, in St. Lucia, a little Caribbean island. Yeah.
So
I've been living here in New Zealand for like 20 years, since 1998, and I've just been growing up here, playing metal, growing up in the metal scene. I'm playing drums, doing vocals, and then just starting to develop from there into different styles of music. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, I mean, what has been the effect of, what kind of lockdown did you guys have there? I mean, COVID and then the lockdown, and how has that affected people's ability to perform?
Yeah, well, when the first lockdown happened, it was, like for everybody around the world, it was the newest, most different thing, that we've had pretty much in our whole lives. You know what I mean? Months of time where everybody was off. And it was just like, we weren't allowed to go anywhere and things like that. And sort of, 10 people at a time in the supermarket and all of that. And for us, like we live in Paradise Studios here where I am. And it was a very fruitive time. We just got to knuckle down, work hard every day. And we could still collaborate with people online. So there was still a lot of sort of work going on. But yeah, we had to cancel some gigs and that sort of stuff in the height of it. Yeah. But as it stands now, we're a lot chill right now. This movement, and yeah, it definitely isn't bad like for the people in England and you guys there in the States probably as well.
Did they actually restrict it to the point where people weren't really allowed to leave their homes?
There was that kind of, they were telling people to stay at home, and it was, you weren't allowed to go to large parties, and events were canceled and things like that. So yeah, we definitely had some weeks where it was just homebound for everybody.
Yeah, I mean here it was. I mean, I think they were advocating everyone stay home the first few weeks, and then after about 2 months, we had large protests where people were going to the state capitals with guns and like saying how they were afraid of tyranny, and I mean, it was just, they were dressing up in like camouflage and large, huge rifles, and they're protesting the government, and it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's like, this is not about the government right now, you know what I mean? Like, this is about health, safety, and there's nothing we can do about this virus except try and just be as hygienic as we can.
Yeah, here in the States, though, we have a lot of people who don't think it's real. They think it's some massive conspiracy, and they think every healthcare worker is part of some huge plot against them. It's pretty crazy here.
Yeah, well, it's sort of, there's a lot of differences of thoughts around, in this day and age about everything that happens. You know what I mean? And it's hard to know who exactly to trust. And especially we get our media from mottled media sources like Facebook and, this sort of thing. So it's very easy for these kind of ideas to proliferate. Yeah. I think like... Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like whether or not it is something that was, say, created in a lab, or whether it's something that genuinely came out of the development of disease in this time. What we have to do now is kind of just, it's out there, and we just need to take care of ourselves and each other, and just do the best that we can as citizens, with what we have.
So we've both seen some elections, I guess, in the last month. You guys had like a parliamentary election, which then chooses your prime minister, or is that what she's referred to as, prime minister?
Yeah, she's prime minister. Babe, did we have that yet? Yeah, because we just had a referendum, which was we had 2 items on the list that we were all voting for, and one was the legalization of marijuana for medicinal purposes. And I think it was also the decriminalization, for use. And then the other thing we were voting on was euthanasia and the end of life choice. Yeah. So which would basically give people the opportunity to, if they were in terminal situation, it'd give them the opportunity to choose to, to end their life. Yeah.
So I know the marijuana referendum didn't pass. I didn't hear about the euthanasia
Yeah,
referendum.
the it did pass. The euthanasia passed. Yeah.
Wow.
Which I think is a good thing. There are those situations. Those situations are reserved to are in terminal illness. you
Hmm.
know. So, but I think it was quite strange how it went down because they it was voted against the marijuana referendum, but the marijuana and the CBD in the pot is is hugely helpful for people in those situations with terminal illnesses. It can turn them around, it can improve quality of life, and all of these things. So there was a lot of flack that people were giving to the government about, oh, okay, sorry, we won't let you smoke a J to ease your arthritis, but you can kill yourself.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. And so then here in the States, we actually had, I believe, 4 or 5 states now legalize marijuana in this election. So I think that it makes it something up to 12 or 20 different states now in the U.S. You can legally smoke recreational marijuana. I think medicinal is up to like 30 states. But then
Yeah.
probably the bigger part of the election was Joe Biden versus Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. What
Um,
were your thoughts watching that from far
um,
away?
well, I don't really sort of follow the politics in a very, very close way. I get the ripples of the wave, as they come back. But, obviously we were hoping for anyone other than Donald Trump to win. We've had that, we've seen what that can do and what it's done. And I think everybody was just really looking forward to this time of change. Joe Biden, he looks on the surface like a kinder man, and that's just something that I see on face value. Um, and yeah, I mean, anything's got to be better than Trump, hey. Although you never know what to expect in
Okay,
the Great Circus.
you got to explain to me one thing about New Zealand. Everybody
Yeah.
I talk to, they say this term keen, Keen, keen. Oh, that's keen. Keen as what is keen?
Well, if you're keen to do something, then you are excited to do it. So I think keen comes from if you have keen senses. I'm
Hmm.
not sure if do you know that word in that context?
Yeah, well, we use I mean, the word keen exists here, but it's very rarely used. It's not a common
Yeah,
term. I mean, we have more terms like
right. Yeah,
depending on the part of the country you're in. Like, for instance, I'm in Wisconsin, and so we've
yeah.
got these people who live and we say Wisconsin's like shaped like a hand, and we've got these people live in what's called Upper Michigan, and so we call them Yoopers, and they kind of got this weird Canadian style accent where they'll be like, "Oh yeah, dairy." But tell me something you love about New Zealand.
um, Yeah, New Zealand. I love the naturality of New Zealand. You know what I mean? Like, there are Rastafari here who are New Zealander people who just love the vibe, who grow their dreads, who, live a natural life. And Yeah, like my dad used to be here, some 15, 20 years ago. And he's in the Caribbean now. He lives, his name's Ras Bonte, and he's got long, long dreadlocks. He's a Rastafari from his whole life. And when he was over here, he was playing a lot of reggae, and he was quite sort of revolutionary over here. They hadn't really seen Rastafari until sort of Bob Marley came and played a gig here, and then later on, then my dad was here, and he was quite influential in the whole movement of that around New Zealand. But now, New Zealand is a really lovely place to live, man. It's really it's very serene. It's pretty quiet because we haven't got a huge mass of people. And it's got gorgeous rolling hills that are just like, a beautiful lady's bum, and it's got and just, gorgeous skies and big mountains. It's a very gorgeous place to live. Yeah. Um, yeah, it makes up for the, you know what I mean? Like it's got pros and cons. Like we've got big mountains, but we got like small crowds at the gigs, so that kind of thing.
So,
But yeah,
I guess tell us before we go. Tell us, when you started playing music and some of the
yeah.
different things you do and where people can find out about your music.
Absolutely, man. Thanks. Well, I've been playing music like my whole life, but for the past 3 years, I've been creating like consecutive albums, like since 2017. So back then, I did a rap and song album called Check It, and I just self-produced the whole thing myself while I was at audio engineering college. And 2017 I did that. 2018 was I wanted to move into more sort of like dance music and enjoyable music that people could just swing to rather than like hard rap all the time. So I created an album called Release, and that's on all the streaming platforms as well. And then 2019 I just followed it up with a number of singles. And then in 2020 I collaborated with a friend of mine, Lipsky, with us at Paradise Studios, and he's on the machine. He makes beats, so me and him collaborated on this album. It's called 10 of a Kind, and it's basically 10 gems, you know, all a bit different, you know, all really enjoyable, danceable, and that's on the streaming platforms too. So at the moment I'm just working on a new body of music. I'm always trying to bring something fresh and trying to improve and sort of push to my production values and myself as an artist. So yeah, I think if you go online and you just search up my name, which is Manu Francois, then you'll find all my music up there. Same on YouTube, you know, all my music videos. And obviously hit subscribe, hit a follow, and you know, I'll always be putting up new music, and we'll see you there. I'm a very personable person, so you're welcome to contact me on the socials and things like that. I'm always happy to hear from good people, you know, just fans and interested people. So yeah, I got a lot of time for that. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on your show, Miles.
Oh, no problem. Wait, I got to ask you one last question. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, the November 9th. What time is it there?
Here at the moment, it's 9:04 a.m. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Wednesday.
Great morning.
No,
Wednesday. Tuesday.
You're Tuesday. I'm Monday.
That's it. Yeah, we're ahead. So New Zealand is the first one in the world to get the sun on the day, you know, the first day. So a little fun fact for you.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Lid Miles, thank you so much, man. Have a beautiful day, and we'll talk again.
No problem.